That's also a big reason of why I wanted to like drop out or stop like
Drop out.
CMU. Yeah. No.
Oh shit! That's
Well,
just
I
it on
can't.
the podcast.
I can't say that the thought hasn't been there. That's also another story I can
Oh
get
no!
into.
Really?
But, like I, yeah, that's why I wanted to drop a lot of like extracurricular activities.
Just drop those like extracurriculars, or was
Yeah,
it
so
like
then I
full
could
on?
so
Oh,
then I
okay.
could focus more on academics. But the dropping full on is a different story.
Was this during CMU that you felt like you wanted to do this?
Yeah, so freshman fall was pretty rough for me. Should I get
Oh,
into this?
if
Yes,
you
Any
want to
other
share it, like it's up to
Yeah.
you.
topics?
You're comfortable, but
Yeah. I this is something I would want to share to more people, but unfortunately, it'll only go to Gus.
Listen, if you want to share it with more people, just refer them to this part of the podcast. You don't have to listen to
Yeah.
everything else.
With
I
with
think
all,
we're on
with
the
all
2
due
hours
res- with all due respect, I'm not sure how much I would refer myself to this.
now.
Hey,
No, I'm
Me
just
too,
playing.
man.
I'm
Me
just playing.
Dude, I don't even
Um,
tell anyone about this.
and you
Wait, no,
should.
Alon's actually okay. Alon's ashamed of it.
I don't know why he's so ashamed of it. Like, I don't think it's
I
that
think
bad at all.
it's-
If you actually listen
it?
to the episodes with like Seaver and Gus, I think they're good. Like, I think
it's
they're
wholesome
entertaining and
content.
listening to.
And when we get old and we look back on these, we're just gonna think about like how troll and fun it was to record. And
I
stuff
know,
like that.
and this guy doesn't seem
No,
to.
no, I appreciate the value of that. I'm making this for myself. That's why I haven't quit yet. But I'm not making it for anyone else.
That's true.
I'm making it for Gus.
Anyway, for our fans out there that are listening, yeah, I'd say like the thought of dropping out was very strong. Like the
Mhm.
thought of dropping out and then attending Rutgers. Excuse me. The thought of dropping out and transferring to Rutgers University, or maybe even doing like a year of community college, was a very real thought for me. Because, like, obviously, you know, like I came in with pretty solid academics because you know it's CMU. Even though athletics helps, it's like it's not gonna help that much. But that also means like I'm not necessarily. There's like this one CMU confessions post. It's like, sorry, I'm not USAMO USACO challenger or IMO at proofs or something like that. Like yeah, I wasn't that. Like I never did any academic extracurriculars like a lot of CMU kids do. So that led me to struggle a lot freshman year, freshman fall specifically. Like I ended pretty okay the semester. But what happened was like I just on top of college, adjusting to college in general being difficult. I felt like I was already behind a lot of people academically, at least within CS. So like I had just been getting bad grade after bad grade. Like you know how concepts they used to release the percentiles and stuff, and even for like 241 and stuff.
Dude,
I think.
I don't know why they do that kind of stuff. I mean, I kind of know why, but
It's for so you know what your grade is.
yeah.
I would very consistently be around like the 25th percentile. So like bottom quarter of the class, right? And like I didn't expect myself to be that good at CMU. Like I knew what I was getting myself into. For me, the biggest priority is graduating in 4 years, right?
Mhm.
But even then, it gets a bit demoralizing at times, especially when you have the heads that are like getting super high grades, being like, "Oh my gosh, I did so bad," right? So like, yeah, struggling a lot. Major C's were just hard. Like I bombed the first midterm. I think I got like a 60 something. So like going and then like concepts. I had no idea what the fuck a proof was. I thought I knew what a proof was after studying Pythagorean theorem in 8th grade to say why like I don't know 3 plus 3 is something, but like I was just wrong, I guess. Proofs were hard, and then like okay, I had an A in interp, but that's just interp. And then what else? Oh yeah, 122 was also difficult because like
Mhm.
I guess I didn't code that much in high school. like a lot of other people who may have done like Isuko or something.
But didn't you
Never,
do APCS?
but I mean, yeah, like 5 on APCS. But that also doesn't like say much, right? So 122 was pretty difficult for me.
Mm.
So like, I think let me actually pull up my SIO right now.
Oh man, we're checking grades
I
now.
think
But
I don't know that's
I
necessary.
remember. No, I want to say the exact number because it's pretty crucial to the story, in my opinion.
Okay.
But my yeah, just pretty bad all around. But like my mid-semester GPA for freshman fall was a 1.78. Let me double check on this. Yeah, mid-semester QPA 1.78. I had A's in FIC and GPI. I had a C in 122 at that time, a C minus in concepts, and a D in 241. Right. So essentially, like C's and D's in all my actual classes, and then like A's in fucking English. So it was a pretty down bad time, right?
Yeah.
And so I think like 1.5 or a certain point, like academic probation was a very real thing for me, like dropping out and stuff like that, or like getting put onto whatever those consequences are was very real. And so I was like, I don't know how, but I need to get my stuff together. And it's very difficult, like trying, like I'm a pretty positive guy, right? Like a pretty happy-go-lucky person. But it's very difficult to maintain that, especially when you're being berated by these like Omega smart kids who are like, yeah, I got a A minus, I'm gonna cry or something like that, right? It's like it takes a beating on you.
It's
I've had some
yeah, it definitely is
pretty tough
grading.
moments.
And it feels like even I feel like I might have done this as well, where I'm not trying to be I don't know, like a dick or anything, but you might like in conversation. Actually, I don't know if I actually did this, but people might in conversation be like, "Oh, fuck, dude, I might get a B," saying something like that because your expectation of from
Yeah.
all your experience in high school is like A's, and it's like
Yeah.
now these people
And like
are like right, yeah, and then
And,
that
like,
could be
it's-
like frustrating, right, or annoying.
Exactly. Yeah, and so yeah, you put it spot on, Patrick. And it's also like there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like everyone has different expectations for themselves, and like if someone expects straight A's and they want it, that's like totally fine, right?
Mhm.
But it and for me, like my expectations was not straight A. I just wanted to graduate, but like it was still pretty difficult. And so I don't know how, but I managed to like kiss ass or like work hard or whatever combination of that and steroids I did. I managed
Kiss hard.
I managed to improve a lot. So like I remember my 122 grade, like the fucking tracker thing.
Oh my god,
I
that
was-
thing.
I
It's
was
not a
on the-
tracker though.
I was on the cusp of like 79 point something and 80.02 or something like that.
Whoa.
Fortunately, that ended with a B.
Let's go.
There's that.
Nice.
Concepts, I was pretty scared of having to retake because I did really poorly on that final, but somehow magically
Dude, we
ended with a C.
I did too.
Nobody did good on the final.
That final was horrid.
But fortunately, concepts ended with a C.
Nice.
And then, so I mean, that's not a good grade, but I'm just glad I didn't have to retake it because then that would have like delayed the graduation process, and then that probably would have caused me to question if I should like transfer to Tempe or something.
For sure.
And then for matrices, like there'd be times after class where I'd just be like, "Hey, Offner, can I just like vibe in your office and do homework?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, for sure, Len." And he was very nice. He was very helpful. Like
Dude,
I'd be
Offner.
able to just go and do homework. And
He
like
sounds
tell
like
me like studying
best person.
strategies. Like we like laid out. I like would review my exams with him and figure out like where I went wrong and why, and stuff like that. And somehow maybe some combination of me getting better at 241 and him having a positive impression of me And then I got a B on my second midterm, which was pretty good. And then I did apparently well on the final, enough for me to end with a B in 241. And then obviously my A in fucking interp. Although
Don't
I guess I
discount
can
it.
flex that on. I can,
Yeah,
I
don't
can
discount
flex.
it.
I can flex my A on Elon.
Oh shit!
Wait, did you not get a A in interp?
I got a P on interp. Passed. It's a P, not a B, a P.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you.
Writing about
Okay, but-
literature.
Writing about literature, right? Yes.
But yeah, anyway, somehow I was able to bring it up in that manner, and I ended with 3.05.
Whoa, yes.
I was
It's a big
very,
flex.
That's huge,
very
yeah.
proud of myself, and like that. I was very worried because I was wondering, like, I mean, I like CMU, but am I academically cut out for it? And this semester, it showed me like it's gonna be a hell of a ride, but you can survive. And so Veronica was all like, this is why you're not gonna take 251 next semester, and you're gonna take it easy and get more used to college. And I think that was honestly the best thing that ever happened to me. Because, like, you probably don't want a 1.78 mid-semester GPA kid taking fucking the 5 tuple of Q Sigma, lowercase q.
Oh yeah, that's so you took it
Stuff
with
like
us.
that,
You
right?
took it with us. I remember.
So, yeah, I took it with the people who started with 112.
It's everything that's
Well,
probably
also
the hardest class to
Alon
take,
too.
Yeah.
Oh, or people who took 213, yeah. Yeah, so that's so, and even then, like, after this, because of this whole like wild ride of a semester, I felt like, damn, I'm not really sure if like CMU is for me. And just like I've had some pretty down bad moments throughout this semester. Come spring 2020, so the semester after it, I took an easier schedule. I had like one CS class, one math class, and then 3 gen eds. This was the semester when COVID first hit, and then I got like B's in my technical classes, A's in my
Right, this was the spring of freshman year.
yes, and like, still I got like the transcript that I was expecting to get, like B's in my hard classes, A's in my easy classes, and because of that, because of like not taking 251, I think I was able to get reacclimated to college, and it just like felt a lot better. And this was also the year that the time that I tried out to be a 150 TA, and I think being a 150 TA was what solidified my feeling of belongingness in CMU. And that's why I like really enjoyed being a TA. That was something like very important to me. It was for the first time where I felt like academically I can survive here. And not only can I survive, I can help other people survive. And especially coming from like, 1.78 mid-semester GPA freshman fall, like, to me that was a very big deal. And so now that I've done it for a while, gotten bored of it, I want to have more free time. But when I was doing it, I was very passionate about it. I like really enjoyed TAing, and if I had more time, or if like I didn't do track, I definitely would TA. But yeah, so like, yeah, finally feeling like I academically fit in was really important to me. Then I no longer wanted to drop out of CMU. Now that concludes freshman year. Come the start of sophomore year, I started taking some pretty tough classes, and I was still able to survive. Granted, I was at home with my parents taking care of me, and it was COVID. But even so, that just kind of put the hammer in the nail. So now that's also why now I'm able to like prioritize friendships and people I care about more. It's kind of unfortunate, but the reason I'm able to have that healthier mindset is because I have the luxury to have that mindset. What I mean when I say that is like in my freshman year in general, you're in like fight or flight mode, right? Like you're purely on survival instinct. You're not caring about anything else socially or like health wise. I just want to stay in CMU, right? But now that I've satisfied my basic Maslow's needs of like knowing that I won't get kicked out of CMU academically, I feel like now I have the luxury to chill a bit more and prioritize other things. And especially now that's been hammered in by being a TA, I know now that like I can survive here and graduate in 4 years. So that's something I wanted to talk about because like that 1.78 number is kind of shocking. I feel like it's not something you typically see or typically people talk about.
Yeah.
But that's also why I wanted to talk about it, especially because like it's an important thing.
Come a long way.
Listen, well, your story.
And also even like all right, one more quick thing. Sorry. Even in high school, it was like kind of similar. Like on a much smaller scale, granted. Like I started in a lot of the non-honors classes, but all of my try-hard Asian friends were all in honors classes, and I would always feel like left out. But then I was able to work my way up into the honors and AP classes. So yeah, it's not on a. Now I wasn't in threat of not graduating high school, fortunately. But,
it's just the try-hard Asians.
It's a similar idea of growth there.
Yeah. Listen, your story, it's like the resilience and the turnaround, the comeback. It's like straight out of Friday Night Lights academic edition. Like it's a good story. It's and I think it's great that you were talking about it because I feel like this is the type of stuff that would be great for other students who might be going through the same stuff to like hear your story and like understand.
It sounds like it should be something that like somebody goes up on the podium during O Week and talks about, you know? And you ever
it's pretty heavy.
In the big tent. Remember all those stories that people would say?
Yeah.
In the Big Ten?
I don't think I am diverse enough to qualify for that.
Certainly not
drama.
for CMU. Wait, did we do that in the Big Ten?
Actually,
like
wait, no.
people said that
I
shit?
I think I have my diversity token is that I'm an athlete. Actually, I take that back. I think I could play that card.
That's offset by the fact that you're from New
that.
Jersey.
Literally the most like cookie cutter CMU kid ever.
It's New Jersey or San Francisco.
That was in the tent. It was like the community.
Wait, I didn't remember that. I remember the tent only being like the talent show. Remember that?
Brad.
Oh, and Brad, yeah. the fucking whatever exhibit.
Who is this JFK? Oh, Brad. I love you, man.
Wait, yo, we need to get Brad on the show.
Dude, honestly. I haven't spoken to... I was in the same city as him for a whole 4 months last semester. And I never spoke to him once. I never saw him.
Oh, I actually ran into Brad once on campus. I was like on a Zoom call for 150. And he was like rushing to get somewhere for 210.
Like an endangered species.
I was like, I was walking, and then I looked at him, and then I looked away, and I looked back. Then he also did the same thing to me. I was like, Brad? I was like, oh my gosh. I sent a quick selfie of us to the Discord a while ago. But yeah, it was a wholesome encounter.
I remember that. I swear, Brad is going to be like a sleeper guest. As in, you don't expect him to be an amazing guest, but then he's going to be like open up on the podcast. Amazing.
When I first met Brad, and I think I've told this to him as well, like, I thought he was... Sorry, I just burped. I thought he was going to be like some super like arrogant, nerdy, smart person, right? and I was kind of intimidated by him academically. I remember there was a 122 thing, and I went up to him and asked him for help. I was like, "Hey, I don't get this example from recitation. You're a kid on my floor. Would you mind taking some time, like, to talk about it?" He's like, "Yeah, for sure." And the way he just like described things to me was like so clear, yet he was so humble and like comforting and reassuring about it. I was like taken aback. I was like, "Yo, I thought
Yeah,
you,"
Brad.
because like my impression of like SCS kids up to that point would have been like just people power tripping about, ooh, T-Semi Turing machine, because my 122 TAs were like that.
Oh shit.
But I don't think they even remember who I am. It's not that deep. But like the way Brad went about things was just so like, for lack of a better term, loving.
No, I get
Brad
what
is
you
actually
mean.
a really,
like,
really good
I
teacher.
was just like taken aback.
He
I
has the
appreciate
patience.
him a
Yeah,
lot for that.
he has the patience of Master Oogway, like just a loving turtle. Just the
Have you seen
No,
the
I really
Master
like
Oog-
he like adapts to who he's teaching. He like personalizes his explanation.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the sign of a good teacher. Yeah,
But
have you?
Brad,
On slightly unrelated note, have you seen like the Master Oogway memes?
yeah, like I've seen those. Like there are no accidents. Like I
Yeah,
see that
yeah.
all the time. There are no Oogway master accidents. Like, people make memes of that all the time.
Yes.
Listen, I want to just, if you don't mind, when you were talking about your struggles during that first semester,
Mhm.
freshman year, and you at the mid semester you realize like your QPA.
Mhm.
If you don't mind sharing, I'm curious, what were your parents' reaction as Asian parents? Like, how did they
Oh
react
yeah.
to that? And
So yeah, that's a good question. So I feel very fortunate in that my parents are like very supportive of me, and they're not like that typical. They're still like very typical. Like I did piano and art lessons and shit like that. Um, but they don't have that same like level of academic strictness.
Mhm.
Not to discredit them, but it's also because like they weren't that academically strict themselves. Like
Mhm.
comparing my parents academically, like they went to like a small place for grad school, but it's just like grad school in the sense of like you come from a foreign country and you need grad school to get like a student visa and green card and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
Um, whereas like a lot of these CMU parents are like fucking VPs at large companies and they're
Yeah.
like PhDs. Like,
Mhm.
dude, Eric Chang's fucking dad. Like,
Do I know Eric Chang? I don't know if I
Erica
know.
Chang.
Oh, Erica. I've
Erica
never
Chang.
like. Okay, yeah.
Like,
It's a name I've heard.
her dad is like some top doctor, like optometrist that's like working for the National Institute of Health. Like I in that sense academically, like since my parents were never like too much like that, it wasn't pushed on me that much. Now, obviously, school is important. The SAT classes, Kumon, all those things.
Come on, yo.
Compared to like a
Oh
lot
my
of other
God.
like strict Asian parents, it wasn't that bad.
Mhm.
And with that in mind, my parents didn't want me to go to CMU in general,
Oh.
because they were worried about this exact scenario with the academics. They would rather have me, go to Rutgers and like not push myself too hard and like be more chill, than for me to like um, go crazy at CMU or something academically or like in workload. And like in the moment, I was like, "You don't believe in me? I can work hard." Blah blah blah. But in hindsight, like, yeah, they have a good point.
Yeah.
I am tired.
But you pulled through. You made it.
But yeah, so
You're
to
great.
answer the question of how my parents reacted, it's like I think I don't remember anything in particular. But like I don't know if I even told them specifically about like 1.78, but like And just in general, fortunate enough to be like, just make sure you're taking care of yourself. As in fact, my parents also are not very supportive of me doing track, because they don't see it as a direct contributor to my career growth,
Hmm.
and it's also a massive time commitment that takes away from school itself, which are both very valid reasons. My like 40% of the reason I continue track is out of ego.
Is because of what?
um,
Sorry.
is out of ego.
Mm.
Um,
I mean, it's
but
like
yeah,
a
so like
huge part of your high school identity, also, right? Like
yeah,
that's what you said.
but yeah, so like yeah, that's just kind of context of my parents. So I'm fortunate where they're not like 4.0 or no food for you.
That's good.
Um, yeah,
Having
it,
support like that is good.
it's support, but it's also not support at the same time, because
Right.
it's like, because then as part of me is also like, oh, my parents are right. I shouldn't have ever gone to CMU to begin with. Should have just went somewhere else. Kind of mindset too.
Well, you're proving them wrong also at the same time. You're validating to yourself that you can do it yourself. And
Yeah, swag that got him.
and hopefully they find pride in that as well. Like they're proud of you for doing that.
Yeah. As I've turned around and gotten better at CMU, I think they've also turned around and felt better about me being at CMU because of that.
Hmm.